Crypto's juiciest news is coming your way, baby dolls. What did the lizard queen, Christina Lagarde, say? Did PayPal make any more StableCoin SuperCycle adoption announcements? What's happening with the Tron IPO? I've got all of that coming your way and more, friends. I want to start off by saying there's two cults in crypto, and they're both on Pulse Chain, and they're the only ones worth owning. The strongest cult on Pulse Chain, PETA and Hex up the top. PTGC also has had amazing price action as well, friends. So this is the thing, right? Everyone within the community, you know, they're arguing with each other. Who cares, man? Who cares? You don't understand. There's millions and millions and millions of people out there who want to get into crypto and they're looking for a home, and they need a thing. They need a place that's not gonna have quitters. They need a place where they're gonna get trapped anyway. That's the thing. You're going to get trapped. So why not get trapped where a team, a community, has already proven themselves? Hex dropped 99%. Pulse Chain's been since the sacrifice 4 years ago, you know, so, and everyone's still here. So that's pretty much where you want to be, right? What happens to a crypto that fades away relevance? They go to zero. It doesn't matter how good your tech is, okay? Obviously, the Pulse Chain community is out here beaming. So BTC, friends, at around 117,000 American dollars. 117, 118 actually. Here we are, the monthly chart. I always show you the monthly chart. Just the start, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're on the fourth green monthly candle. You're probably wondering, like, why? Where's the acceleration? Why do we have like another dopamine reset? This is just how the game goes, friends. This is just how the game goes, up and down. There's just so many dopamine resets. This is Ethereum. Ethereum, friends, hit 3,900. It is like knocking on the door of that big final burst. Usually what happens though, because I've been trapped short in some of this stuff, so it smashes up here and then it like does this ticky and you're like, oh thank God it stopped. Oh thank God. And then when you least expect it, pop, it just pops on through. Ah man, if you've ever been caught short through stuff like that, it just comes on through. So this is Bitcoin on the daily super trend as well. Maybe we did do a little bit of that retest already, and I think we're ready to go up. Unfortunately though, most people believe it's the end phase now. I don't think it's the end personally, because I'm not satisfied with the AI bubble. We have ChatGPT releasing version 5 in literally anywhere from like 1 to 4 weeks, like in August. We have a lot of AI things that, friends, we haven't even seen the true potential of AI. Right now, people are still laughing about it, and they're saying, "Oh, it's just an LLM. Oh, it's a lesbian lemon model. Oh, it's just words put out here." I go, no, do you understand what the hell's going on? It's gonna build into consciousness, okay? But you can't comprehend that because you're about 100 IQ like everybody else. Me, I'm about -40. You see, you're stuck in the mid curve. You don't understand what the hell's going on. So it's just kind of funny, man. But I think I'm like, well, it's just wild how in markets, you know, when something goes up, there's a hated rally, there's disbelief. There's a disbelief rally with AI right now. I've gone and spoken to so many people because I'm thinking, oh, everyone's excited about it. No one's excited about crap. No one cares. No one cares. And the people who do their research, they go, aha. You know, it's just another, it's kind of funny where this is what I don't get, right? Mid-curvers, okay, they get skeptical about the like most strangest, like weirdest thing, you know, that you shouldn't even be skeptical about. Where they're like, they go, you know what? I'm finally going to awaken. And they think they're taking the red pill. And they say something like, you know what? I actually think Donald Trump and Major Loser Powell, I think they're actually friends. Right? And that's as far as I'll ever go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Look at Mr. Red Pill here coming out. He's finally awaking. And then they just go back to their little blue pill cuck lifestyle the next day, right? It's the same thing when it comes to AI, tech, crypto. And it's this phenomenon, friends. When something goes up, it's like the people who are destined to buy the top, first they start off by hating it, you know? I'm sure that's how we actually all started maybe hearing about BTC. I remember when I first got told about Bitcoin, 2016, 2017, and I did research. The first article I found was showing how a lot of the Mexican cartel were using Bitcoin to launder the money. And I'm like, aha, you see? And then I never looked at it ever again until obviously, when did I start looking at Bitcoin? When I found out a lot of people who could not make money in TradFi futures were making a lot of money trading Bitcoin. And that's when I opened my eyes. It was FOMO. I'm like, what? What? That failure's making money? No, it can't be. It can't be, and had to get in, right? It's kind of funny. So that's exactly what the Normie's going to think with us. They're going to think, hey, look at this guy. This guy's a retardio, okay? He doesn't wear a suit and tie to work. How is he making money? And it just builds into them, right? So we're going to build into that. Now, if we come out and check the Bitcoin weekly chart, friends, remember, we are still green on the weekly super trend. We have our big key levels here, 150, 200, 240. I don't know if we're going to hit any of them or all of them. They're all major fibs. And of course, we're going to have to play some Pumpy G music just to celebrate the fact that we're closer to 150 than 0. Kind of amazing, right? So as we move up, you got to remember, friends, it's going to be really tough because there's every single target you can imagine is going to come out. And you don't know what to make of it. You're going to have, because a lot of like Citybug, for example, their target for Bitcoin is 135K because they're all want to be really conservative, right? And you got to look out for, you never know, maybe JP Mosquito comes out, they say, oh, 500K BTC, then you might know they're automatically selling. And there's a lot of things basically we have to process. That's why I'm really looking forward to my exotic top signals. This is the others chart. Remember, it's just others USD. No ratio, just others USD, pure altcoins. It's about 291 billion. It's starting to coil up. We've had a terrible start to the year. Maybe we're going to run into next year. I don't know. Okay, we have had a very long base. We've had a prolonged bear market. So if there was ever a case to make for not diminishing, I think this is it. If there was a case. You have AI as the backdrop, and we've run longer in the bear market than last time, pretty much. So that would make a case for us not to diminish. But you don't want to commit to it too much because you just never know. This is the Bitcoin dominance still hanging around here. I guess there's some glimmers of hope. A lot of people are still bullish on the Bitcoin dominance, of course. But yeah, we'll see. Now you got to remember as well, friends, when I show you the others, this is the OTHERS-btc ratio. When we're looking at this, remember it's a ratio, yeah? It is all the pure altcoins. So it's outside of the top 10. So rank 11 or like rank 200. It's the belly of the curve, and it compares to Bitcoin, right? Right now it's at 0.12. That means, or if you add up the market cap of all those altcoins, it's 12% of Bitcoin's value, right? At the peak of NFT mania, it was 44%. Last cycle, okay? So we're all the way down here. So if you want to know why are we getting these little resets, it's because we're only on one green candle, yeah? The feeling you're looking for, which is like, someone who, let's say you're a drug addict and you eat chocolate, right? So let's say you eat chocolate, you like eating chocolate under the bridge on a Friday night, around the barrel, warm up your hands. So these chocolate eaters, the feeling you're actually looking for, where you have like unbound confidence and like maybe Hunter Biden styles euphoric recall type of scenario, that feeling, it can't come, it never comes, impossible to come in the first 3 green candles in a row. All right, there's always this stop, start. It's like, oh, it's good. No, it's not. Oh, it's good. Do you think it's going up? There's always this anxiety, climb the wall of worry, okay? The feeling we're actually looking for, it happens on candle 5, okay? Candle 4, candle 5. And obviously in 2017, it went to candle 6, So that's what I'm telling you about. Once, and look, why is that? It's because there are people out there, friends, this is how it works, okay? They're not actually in markets to make money, yeah? They're completely ruled by their emotion. So basically everybody is just trying to seek the most dopamine. And seeking the most dopamine involves, once there's green candles, follow it, yeah? Once there's a lot of noise, jump on the noise, and then your brain can just reroute explanations of why you think it's a good idea, yeah? But they don't do that after 1 green candle. They don't even do it after 2, okay? They need to see like 3 months in a row. And you might be wondering, man, how it is amazing, right? This thing's been around, like we have now a 4.5-year cycle. That's 48 months, 50 months. How is it that all of these normies come in the same 3 to 4 month period when it just appears to go up? And I don't know why. They feel it around the universe. It's like you go up and there's a bit of a reset, and then you go up and there's a bit of a reset. And if those resets are shallow enough and you just keep going up, it's like they have an antenna in their head, and they just have to come in. They literally just have to come in, and it doesn't matter what the coin is. They'll find the way to get in, and that's what we're ultimately building towards. Okay. Now I want to quickly show you something here, friends. This is the MicroStrategy to BTC ratio. It's still hovering around here. It might do the bull flag, maybe. And look, I hope it really does come for the final euphoric pop up here before it's pretty much all over. I don't know if it's going to be all over. I'm just saying that. But remember, the NAV, so the Bitcoin on MicroStrategy's balance sheet, it's at a certain price, okay? It's at a certain price. It's at 1.595 times the normal Bitcoin price. So that's 59.5% more expensive, yeah? So if you, it's funny, right? If you buy MicroStrategy, you're not buying Bitcoin at $118,000. You're buying it at $188,000, okay? At one point, it was $300,000. And you're probably also wondering, why on earth would people do that? It doesn't matter what the question is. Why? It's how they feel. When you see Michael Saylor with his laser eyes come out and he says, Bitcoin's going to $13 million. When he says that, and then the interviewer, is always like some baby interviewer comes out and she's like, but Michael, but what about if it goes down? What happens if there's more technology? And then he looks at her straight in the eyes and he says, you're using a bow and arrow, and then Bitcoin is a nuclear weapon. Totally means nothing, doesn't even matter. But because he just says that with a straight face, and then he says, look at New York real estate. You don't even want to live in it. You just buy it 100 years ago. You hold forever, you know. Look at gold. You don't even use it. He goes, kingdoms were built. They just put them into statues. They don't even use the gold, right? They just kept it there. Just we start throwing all this stuff out. What people end up doing is they see this multiple, right, of 1.596, whatever. So they don't think, oh, I'm paying $188,000 for something that's 118. They don't think of it like that. What they think is, they think of that feeling like, oh, I'm buying something that's definitely going to like $10 million. That's how they think about it, right? That's the only way to get them in, friends, because if you look at it, the $10 to $13 million, that's another 100 to 200x back when we started saying it. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, God bless you. I mean, humans are all the same, friends. It's just that the narrative ends up that people end up swallowing. They think like, oh, I'm smarter because I'm following this narrative, but they never stop and think, bro, what price am I actually paying for the thing? Because I guess that kills the dream, right? And by the way, anybody who thinks of that mindset, you wouldn't be following a dude you just saw on TV who just yelled out the biggest target, right? If you actually wanted to buy stuff low, you would have been buying in the bear market with you and me, or just holding there. They're like, everyone's saying crypto's going to zero, but what if it doesn't go to zero? No, they don't ask that question, right? They wait for it to go up. So we've got plenty of more to come. Like, yeah, man, I mean, like, we haven't even started. Imagine the euphoria, what they're going to say, what numbers they're going to say. Oh, man, God bless us. Now, Lizard Queen, Christine Lagarde. So this bitch, remember, friends, she's an actual criminal. And I think she's an actual lizard, okay? She's got no soul, totally empty vessel. I don't know what's in there, probably shape-shifting of sorts. She starts talking about the critical step of implementing a stablecoin, the digital euro, okay? So here she is with her cute little scarf, probably hiding some of the gills or something stuck in her neck. Our aim is to ensure our currency is ready for the digital age and that sovereign money is available in a digital form alongside cash. That's a load of bullcrap, by the way. You see in Europe, friends, you're basically a criminal if you withdraw more than like 500 pounds from an ATM. So I know a lot of people, some people just don't get it. But look, I'm not here to spoil the party, okay? But I'm not going to shut my mouth. They are doing, not they as in Euro, they as in every single major government, US of A, US of B, Europe, right? Everywhere. They're all doing CBDC. They're just not calling it CBDC. Why? Because we memed how trash CBDC was pretty good last cycle. They'd use a different word now. Digital dollar. Oh, it's the future. They just make up another word, man. It's the exact same thing. They have a blacklist function. They have total control. It's surveillance state. There's only going to be whitelist approved areas, and they can add smart contract functionality to them later on. So when they do the next planned crisis and they got to implement these features, they're going to do stuff like that. Like for example, let's say the hospitality industry gets affected by, I don't know, let's say there's another zombie virus, whatever. And let's say bat has sex with a Pokeball again, and there's another zombie virus happens. Yeah, the government can, like, basically, once all the money's digital and you have all your digital IDs attached to your wallet, they can basically say, oh, if you're in the hospitality industry for your work, you will get, like, you know, an $800 stimulus every week for the next 3 weeks, and it just automatically comes out. Now, I'm giving you the good side to that, right? That's the start. That's the side they're going to give. But the bad side is, okay, once everyone's in and the whole economy runs off this digital stuff, there is literally no escape from the money printer diluting you. Literally none. The only way, actually, you could escape once this world's finally complete is if you find someone who mines Bitcoin or maybe Ethereum and they get their yield, and they are willing to employ you for work, and they grab the yield of the Bitcoin or Ethereum, and then they pay you for the work. So you're getting paid directly analog off the market. That's the only way to happen, okay? Right now, we're not in that world. Why? Because the government's, you know, slow, it takes time. We've got a lot of, like, you know, fake alien invasion, other narratives to come on through fake cyber attacks. But that's eventually what happens, friends. And that's why I guess gold will always have some sort of value there, because it's a link to the analog world. But we're not there yet, okay? So don't worry about that part. Right now, we have to, like, get the big bubble in. We have to get everybody in first, because all these people are going to get scammed. They're not getting scammed right now because they're still asleep at the wheel, right? You need them to get them in. So that's why, you know, it's kind of funny. One of you baby dolls as well, you made me this nice paragraph essay, and you go, saw me have this theory. They go, you said that Normies are going to be buying on the Bitcoin ETF this cycle, and they're going to get wrecked, and they're going to do the... and then BlackRock's going to betray them, and they're going to change all the rules of the next bear market. I was like, bro, how new are you to my channel? That was literally 80% of my content in 2023. But that's 80%. That was just to remind you, man. That's why I told you, like, Bitcoin Max, just be careful what you wish for, because normies outnumber all of us. So when they come in, right, and in this cycle, if Bitcoin goes to 200, 250K, you got to remember, yeah, the normies, okay, for every one of you and me, there's 5 of the normies because of Metcalfe's law, right, and how it's going up. So they're coming in to buy the tops. So what happens when Bitcoin, I'll just show you. What do you think is going to happen when BTC, let's say it gets a trap up here, right? When it's down here, this is a funny part. What? You think these people who are normies, who've been fading crypto for 15 years, are now going to say, oh, I believe in the 4-year cycle. I am heavily offside, but I'm going to be a good citizen and shut my mouth, and I will continue to pay off all my debt, and I will definitely not protest. No, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that at all. What they're going to do is they're going to go freaking protest to Lizard, Fink, BlackRock, and they're going to say, hey, get the government to go ban this crypto stuff. It's all a scam. It goes down. And they're going to change the rules, man. They're trying to change the rules. You know that, right? Remember BlackRock fans even have a clause where they said if they're not happy with Bitcoin's progress, they fork it, right? They've written it down pretty much in their investor clause thing. They've left it open, and then like, what are you going to do, by the way, if everyone's digital? What are you and me going to do? Then what they'll try to do is make their one the real Bitcoin, right? And then our one's the poop one. And you might say, oh no, but no one's ever going to believe that. And I will say, sit down. You are asking for the Normies ETF passive DCA money. If all those dollars are going to buy the fake BlackRock Bitcoin, who's going to buy our one? Because we're already in. You see? That's why, friends, when you sell your soul to get number go up, you start to rely on it. And then you realize we are no different to the TradFi system. It's still humans. You get it? And then you become in this all whole again, okay? The good thing is, you and I, we can see this forming, but the normies aren't in yet. Okay, what I'm basically showing you, because friends, it's happened pretty quick, right? The cycle could be over in like 5 or 6 months. At least I've told you, like, hey, once the normies are in, You don't sit there forever, hold their hands, have tea with them, and like, you know, eat sandwiches at a park bench. I want you to know there's a role of them in this story. The role of them is to lose all their money by buying the top, and then they have to get liquidated at the bottom, and they go and beg the government for everything to get banned, okay? You don't want to be on that side. But for now, we still need to get him in. Binance founder, CZ, his net worth, friends, has hit $75 billion. BNB has hit an all-time high of $850. So my friend CZ, he goes hard at karaoke. He has 64% of his net worth pretty much in BNB. This is the BNB token. It is as much of a god chart as you can ever get. It used to be 10 cents, man. What's it up to now? Wow. That's wild. That's an 8,250x. That's from 10 cents. So this is absolutely bonkers, right? It's one of the strongest coins in crypto. Absolutely huge. Now, why is it the strongest coin? It's because BNB have an unofficial buy and burn where they use the fees of the exchange and they just keep rotating into BNB token. Okay, and I don't think they create expectations of this, but you could see this happening during the bear market of 22. I looked at all the ratios, and every time Bitcoin would collapse on the charts, the BNB ETH ratio just goes up. So what they do is instead of hitting market, because they do it manually, they just leave it as a bid. They leave a big bid war. So hopefully PulseX, friends, is a decentralized version of that. That's why Richard Hart, I guess, made PulseX, because it can drag the whole ecosystem and everything up together. Let's have a look at Pulse Chain prices. There's been a bit of just a bit of slapperoonie. We're up to 7.49% of the PulseX buy and burn. That's total user supply. So it's not counting the origin address, which we assume never dumps. So remember, with BNB have doors. They have an office, right? They've got a water cooler. They can be shut off. You know, and the government did try to shut them off. They stopped bank accounts from being able to deposit there. They took CZ to jail. So if the government really wants to, they can choke them out. With PulseX, they can't, though, because it's decentralized, right? But then again, like, that's another thing as well. So for a bull market, I guess PulseX is going to be more hyper-aggressive on the way up, and maybe BNB will be more defensive on the way down, but we'll see. Here we have, friends, PayPal. Oh, by the way, so I've got to tell you as well. So CZ, you know, if BNB, if it does another 10x, the guy's almost a trillionaire. That's big, man. That's big. Also, you got to think about this. As BNB pumps, you and I, we will be telling the world that PulseX is a decentralized BNB. It's got the buy and burn, but it happens automatically. You know, so I wonder if BNB going up helps lift PulseX's potential valuation. Okay. Now, BNB friends, if I check it out right, its market cap is 115 billion, you know? So I wonder if PulseX can reach about 10% of that, which is 15 billion. Now, PulseX right now, friends, is only about 600 million. Okay, so that's BNB today, and BNB is going to keep going up. That's about a 30x. Okay, so that's how investors and stuff in the bull market, they measure stuff. They look at relative value. So if BNB is a centralized exchange, well, how much would a decentralized one be? You know, just throw in 5 to 10%. That's how people like to speculate on it. So hopefully we get to see BNB continue to rise up, and it might unlock more of this fever in the market for like real utility, you know, and that happens in a decentralized way. By the way, baby, I almost forgot. I know we surf crypto waves all the time, but if you like to surf real waves, my friend Mr. James, he's got a website here. It's chillisurfboards.com. Okay. I have it right here. Chilli with 2 L's. Chillisurfboards.com. You know, 1 L, 2 L's, 2 L's. And wow, they actually ship international. That's awesome. I just promised him I'd look at it. Ships all around the world. And if you want to go hard at this, also please. Oh, wow. Here we go. We've got a cute video here. What's going on here? Wow.
Surf, move across water really quickly.
So there you go, friends. There's some bear market goals for you. For all of us. Once we finally get a chance to stop checking the coins every 15 seconds out here. So I want to give a big special shout out to James. And yeah, we'll be pretty cute, friends. You learn to do something differently. Oh, here's James himself. Wow, this is awesome. It's kind of funny, man. This is what a lifestyle we have, friends. We're literally thinking of stuff to do when we don't have to look at the charts every 15 minutes. Also, during the bear market, I remember Ivan just took a full year off. People just disappear, friends. It's kind of interesting. People just disappear. People go start families, go tour the world. I always wondered, like, how did you just know? But it's probably because they were around in 2017. They just know, like, so what happens is you get, like, really physically worn out. That's what actually happens. Because you're not sleeping. You might get a bit more sick, right? So as a bull market happens, I started noticing, like, I get more sniffles. Sniffles for the wrong reasons. You get more sniffles, you feel a bit more run down, and then you end up finding out, yeah, it's because you're not getting the full deep REM sleep. Because your brain just pinging, like, what's happening? What's happening? The thing I've been waiting 4.5 years for, it's finally here. And then eventually you just get run out. That's what happened in 2021, friends. Actually, there was an interview you could watch in Bankless. You know Davey Soy Hoffman? He was basically, I still remember this. It was after everything had pretty much stopped. So we were now in like March of 2022. Right now, I want to tell you, right? So I remember they were just having their talks, and they're like, guys, we're just so run down. We've done like every narrative. We're not even inventing stuff anymore. It's like we do another Olympus DAO fork or another Uniswap fork. There was like 300 of them out here. Like another one with and they try to toggle something, but there was just nothing that was new anymore. It was just rinse and repeat, and everyone was just like so worn out. But by that point, see, Bitcoin was down 45%, but altcoins were down 75%. So you're worn out, you run down, but, you know, maybe you used to have 400,000 in your portfolio and you thought, oh, I'm just almost a 2x, I got $1 million, but it's down 75%. Now you're back down to 100K, right? So the fundamentals, you're like, wait, we're all worn out. We're all run out. There's been a lot of top signals, but the price just isn't what we wanted, you know? So I'm just showing you that it might repeat like that again. It might, friends. But we haven't even started, right? We haven't even had like a kickoff season, you know? We haven't even had a point where someone's like invented something that makes us go wild. Because back then it was Uniswap. And they were just forking Uniswap. Now, you might say, but Somi, we have Pump Fun. And they're just forking Pump Fun. Are they though? We just have bonk fun. The casino dwellers just moved to like next door casino. They're about to go lose money there. So it's almost like we're getting too smart, that's what happens in markets. That's why the gains diminish, because people are learning. So that's what happens is we make words to describe the scamming. Like we have that LA vape cabal, which is it's the funniest name ever. But like, you know what that means now, right? Back then, it's like, oh no, there's hidden doors and smokes and mirrors and delusion and deception. We didn't know what words to say back then, you know? Everything was just called a scam. But then we just say, oh, but scams pump the hardest, you know? Now we have like words, oh, there's a cabal. And they say, oh, this is a token snipe thing. Do you know what I mean? We have these words where it's entering our lexicon, right? Which makes it harder for people to disconnect in terms of like finally like let go, right? So, but I believe something has to come out and do it. I just don't know what it's going to be. PayPal, friends, not to be confused with Pay Enemy. PayPal is going to allow merchants to accept crypto payments. Wonderful. So StableCoin SuperCycle, once again, if you want to pay with your Bitcoin Cash, for like the 6 people who still have that, you can pay with your Bitcoin Cash. It's all totally regulated. So it's just like another bank account, but the good thing is it'll just allow more people to get used to storing crypto. Like my friend Eden, friends, at the computer store, he's got the PayPal merchant thing, and you can accept Bitcoin and crypto already. Now, he already had a crypto portfolio, right? But I was just thinking, wow, so you can see, like, you want people to get trained to seeing the Bitcoin and the logos, yeah? Because they're just like little Pokemon. And they're like, ooh, this one's up. You know what I mean? Like, because that's what happens when they notice, oh, the green Bitcoin logo, Bitcoin Cash, when they start seeing it, and it might actually go up a bit faster than the orange Bitcoin. That's all it is, man. They're just different Pokemon. It's all the same stuff to them. It's all Pokemon to them. You know what I mean? It's not, oh, decentralization and these. They don't know these words, bro. They don't got no idea. Do you understand? They wake up, they get their coffee, to go to work, come home, they watch the footy, you know, and they don't care, man. They literally don't care. So it's kind of funny. We're trying to make them care. We just don't care. They only care when one thing happens. It's when a lot of stupid people start to get rich. Okay, and if that doesn't happen, they're not caring. Check this out as well. Billionaire Uncle Ray Dalio suggested 15% of your money in gold or Bitcoin as a hedge against devaluation of fiat. Now, Uncle Ray, I listened to the interview. It's kind of funny. See how we all just spin stuff? I actually listened to the full clip. And he actually says he prefers gold. He goes, but if you really wanted, you could choose the Bitcoin, and then the Bitcoin maxis go like, Ray Dalio says 15% allocation. Which I say, good, bro. It's like I said, friends. Didn't I tell you, in a bull market, people don't care about facts, bro. We want to believe. We want to believe. Just say the bigger number, get everyone in, and that's great. And by the way, yeah, you are getting debased every year. Yeah, so you know, that's kind of funny, man. It's kind of, the normies, whenever you post one of those, the debt and the deficit is out of control charts, you're paying that, silly willy. It's you. You work, you get paid in the government fiat currency, and that's what you're keeping. You are paying off the debt. And they're like, oh, the debt's out of control. What are you doing about it, bro? Nothing. You're paying off the debt. So thank you. Thank you. If you don't want to pay off the debt, immediately swap out of the government fiat and get a scarce asset, you know? If you're really boring, you can get analog gold, okay? If you want some spice, you get the stock market, S&P 500. And then obviously, if you want to turbo launch yourself into the moon or fall and like crater to the earth, yeah, crypto. See, but holding the fiat, like, you're guaranteed to lose. And some people just love losing. They like losing because you're consistently losing, right? You're getting debased. So, God bless you, man. You know, you'll figure out one day. Tron, friend. So, Justin's son, not to be confused with Justin Moon, he filed for a mixed shelf offering of up to $1 billion. I don't know what a shelf offering is, but if you've ever been to a music event, friends, shelving, you know, we got kids watching. Let's just say, you know where your belly button is? What's the other side of your belly button? And then a bit lower. You know that part? Yeah. Shelving is where you've got to, I guess, place a dissolvable medicine of sorts into that part of your body. Okay, so when I saw Justin's son is filing to shelve himself for $1 billion, I'm wondering what's going on here. Also, friends, Justin, well, I'm just saying, welcome to crypto, bro. Welcome to crypto. All right. Justin's gone for the full IPO. So the initial poop offering. So pretty much, friend, just to let you know, okay. So you don't know this because you're just here to make a couple of bucks. You know what I mean? But the guys who actually want to be like multiple hundred billionaires, Justin's son, Richard Ha, all these guys, Brad Garlic Breath from XRP, Clis Lorshit from also XRP. We're chump change to them. Okay, they're trying to literally be trillionaires in the future, 100 billionaires. Okay, so what they got to do is, see, they can't sell to you and me. Okay, your $27 and my $13 isn't enough for them. So what they have to do is they've got to weave their way into the American financial system and get listed on their stock market, where you have the world's biggest amount of bidders and investor money. That's how they actually get their exit liquidity, right? That's why we need to get the ETFs, okay? That's ultimately what they're all working towards. So when I report for you like random moves from these people, you're like, oh, this guy's doing an IPO, and then this guy has a meeting with Lizard Fink. What does it all mean? Now you know what it all means, okay? They're trying to get the passive money, because friends, that's the S&P 500 has, I think, $60 billion of fresh DCA money every month. Yeah, and most of it is just people who are told, hey, you're not allowed to touch it for 40 years. Do you know what I mean? So that's how the system works. Now, obviously, My explanation is more crude and clear. You don't get the Somi explanation when you go ask them what they're doing. They're like, no, 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 no. We're bringing the digital revolution to the world. You know what I mean? They use words like that, and it's like a very long prospectus. And you're like, whoa, just all these buzzwords, but like you cut between everything. That's what they're trying to do, bro. It's like, you can't retire off my $13 bid. You need part of that $60 billion monthly to keep bidding with all the ETFs and the DCA money so you can gracefully exit. That's what it is. Okay? Electric vehicle maker Volcon has bought 300 more Bitcoin, raising total holdings to 3,500 BTC. Remember, friends, with Bitcoin Treasury bubble, I've shown you, MicroStrategy is the spear of that. That's what we watch, and it's continuing up. I still maintain some of these companies, they're just going to swap to ETH, a part of it. Yeah, it's just, but when are they going to do it? When Ethereum's high enough, right? This is how it works, man. You know, like, hey, these companies didn't want to buy Bitcoin at $15,000 when I was calling the bottom. Yeah, why do they want to buy it at 120? It's up 8x. You like buying high or buying low, companies? So you say you like buying low, but I think they're just words, you know? And they might say, oh, no, but Trump's president now. I'm about this one. They just shut up. It's all a bunch of fugazi, okay? They're just leaning on that, okay? It's going to be the same thing. Look, I guarantee maybe Ethereum hits like 8,000. It's a $1 trillion market cap, and they're all going to be buying. I'm like, hey, why didn't you want to touch Ethereum when it was 1,400, huh? Why didn't you want to do it? They'll make up another reason, right? $110 billion Interactive Brokers is exploring a stablecoin to enable instant 24/7 brokerage funding. Once again, friends, stablecoin SuperCycle happening everywhere. Every company is going to release a stablecoin. It's free yield. It's literally free yield. And yeah, it's so easy to do. You take people's money, you buy government bonds, you get the yield, you just give them a dog shit $1 currency. That's why if a ping pong coin can give them attractive yields to get them to swap their liquid currency, might have something to do in the future. Let's see. Mill City Ventures announces $450 million private placement to fund a PUI treasury strategy. So we're seeing a lot of these other random coins, random companies, all these strategy stuff out here. It doesn't really mean anything. Depends. This is they're just like the partnerships thing of 2017, which doesn't actually do anything for price. But the beautiful part is people haven't realized it yet, so they buy off it, which is wonderful. Which means like we're literally just repeating history. It's just instead of saying, because back in 2017, fans, remember, people didn't understand how crypto was valued, right? So there was partnerships everywhere. Yeah, so that's why everyone was like, oh, I think like Verge did a partnership with Pornhub. Oh, let's do a partnership with McDonald's. Partnerships don't do anything, friends. Partnership is like, hey, we literally confirm friendship, and we're like, okay, now what? And they go, oh, no, just go tell everybody we're friends now. That's literally it. Because we have now confirmed friendship with McDonald's, and let's go tweet about it. So it doesn't actually do anything for price. To do something for price, you need people to buy and believe long term, and to have the meme cult religion archetype, right? But it's the same thing with these treasury stuff. So what we'll probably find is in the next bear market, after it's all done, you know, I'll be probably making videos, and I'm like, well, I guess it turns out a company buying your shares, stocks, doesn't actually mean anything, because they treat it just like any other asset on their balance sheet, and they sell lows when they need to anyway. So it doesn't really do anything. They're just like, you know what I mean? Like we just came full circle all over again, right? But that's good. That's good. That's why you can see weaknesses in the market because they haven't figured it out yet, right? It's almost like, friends, in the stock market, yeah. You need to have a profitable free cash flow pattern if you're selling a product or service here. So like in the stock market, if a company comes out, let's say let's say iPhone, Apple. Let's say Apple says, you know what, we're going to compete with OnlyFans, right? The market, they're not silly. They don't go, oh, OnlyFans is popular. That's going to be great. What they do is they go to OnlyFans and they look at the demographic. They look at the market value. They look at how much money it's revenue. And they're like, okay, how much can Apple steal from that? See, everyone knows the numbers to go look for. You can't like cheat the market into that. But in crypto, you still can. We just invent stuff. We're like, oh, the treasury bubble. And all these, we just make new words up. It's just we haven't run all the scenarios yet. But one day in the future, next cycle, the cycle after that, we would have eventually run out of things to tell the market that we're doing to like spice it up, because everyone knows how it all ends, right? That's why we're still early relatively to crypto. We haven't done all the experiments that we know are all going to fail anyway, right? So that's what gives you asymmetric informational edge, by the way. The fact that you know that this thing is all fugazi, it's going to go up anyway, but you know you don't rely on it to hold in a bear market. Because we already know, right? You can have all the partnerships in the world. Doesn't matter, dude. Oh, your coin's down 95%. Doesn't matter. People are selling it. My uncle, Peter Schiff. Smart people said a lot of dumb things during the .com and real estate bubbles, but nothing as dumb as what they're saying now to rationalize the Bitcoin bubble. It's true. But you're not going to call the top. Because it keeps going up and up and up and up. It's true. But we're not there yet, man. So it's a tug of war, friends. So, look, I know, man, I'm just guessing. But look, I think Michael Saylor and all that, the business words, and I think they're going to lure in some more companies that have weak CEOs and boards. And I don't know who they are, but they're coming. I don't feel we're weak yet. I feel like everybody's firmly planted on the floor and they still believe, right? When the weak non-believers come, I think it'll be very obvious. That's why I just use an example. I don't know why I use example, friends. PETA, the animal activist company. You know what I mean? You know the company where they're like, hey, let's sacrifice 15 babies so we can save this little baby turtle. Just some company that like no one respects, that's irrelevant, no one takes seriously. I just got a feeling they're somehow just going to just end up with Bitcoin at the top. I can just see myself making a video. I'm like, guys, you know it's over now. Like, you know, these guys are the biggest losers in the world. That's why, like, who else is out there, friends, that you just have literally no respect for? I never really thought about it. I don't know why I just keep thinking about PETA, you know, because, like, you know, South Park make fun of them. You know, friends, the equivalent of, like, you know, that's like the graffiti guys and girls that like go into the art gallery and they're like, oh, look at this beautiful 3,500-year-old statue. I know. Let me throw a banana and graffiti all over it and ruin human unity. You know those people, you just like everyone, no one likes them. Yeah, like something like that. I just got a feeling somehow they'll end up in crypto. They'll end up somehow, right? Somewhere. And it will be, I believe, the NFT tweet Pepsi conversation. Okay, where like, friends, when you read this, you know it's all over. Facebook Meta. This is going to look great in the metaverse. You know it, friend. From Pepsi. Welcome, brand, friend. Wag me. Thanks, friend. Wag me. Like, if we get that moment, you know what we're going to do. Like, everybody just, like, load the flamethrower and just start burning. Just start burning it down. It's kind of funny. Think about it conceptually, what we've done. Meme cult religion, yeah? We completely underestimated how effective we were at believing. Because we've gone from meme to cult. But the cult, we just refused to leave. Okay? All of it. Like, we were literally refused to leave. I'm not going back to that shitty TradFi system, bro. Johnson & Johnson's going up 2.5% per year. I'm sorry. That is not enough for me to get toey. Okay? I'm not going. And then eventually the cult will start showing signs of a neo-religion where they realize these people are never leaving. And the young kids, I mean, they're coming into this stuff, right? And then, like, because we're not leaving. And then they finally start to come in. And then we look at it and we're like, yeah, what's that? We're just like, but we won. That was the whole point, to get them all in. But now that they're in, we're like, it's not cool anymore. It's not cool anymore. It's kind of like social media. You get on Facebook, now all the grandmas and grandpas are on there showing like half racist memes and oversharing stuff out here. And I was like, that's yuck. I want to go move on, right? That's what's happening to crypto. Okay, we're just living it slowly. So, where to from here? All eyes on meth. Meth is at 3,800. This is the big key level, okay? 6 times we've touched it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 7th time we've touched it in a very family-friendly way. The next major fib is 7,300. I really believe, like, it's almost, to me, I've always known that. I'm like, I feel like we're definitely getting there. I just don't know what happens after that point. So for now, buy and hold. Don't forget it loves you, friends. Like and subscribe, share with your friends and family. Catch you soon.